Okay, can we start now? I think more than half is already here.
Sure.
Okay. Hello everybody. Is everybody here? Can everybody listen to me? Assalamualaikum and good morning. Well, my name is Zulaila, and for those who don't know me, I am your MC for our short talk this morning. I hope you had taken your breakfast, and thank you for joining us today for this special presentation on start your business in your own field. Okay. With us today, we are fortunate to have an incredible person in the audiological field, Mr. Mok Yong Yaw. He's my former boss, a good employer, I could testify. Mr. Mok has bachelor degree in audiology from UKM and MBA from University of Melbourne. He has experience of working as an audiologist at Siemens Medical Instrument for 3 years before he started his own business in 2002. And during that time, his workshop, Gnosis Professional Hearing Services, located in Cheras, Kuala Lumpur. 10 years later, in 2012, Gnosis has been rebranded into 20dB Hearing to make it more be known with a more audiological related identity. And then fast forward to 2020, 20dB Hearing now has around 23 outlets all over Malaysia. So I'm not going to blabber on and on more. Mr. Mo is going to deliver his talk for approximately 1 hour. Should you have any question, do not hesitate to ask during the Q&A session. So Mr. Mo, the platform is all yours. Please.
Okay. Good morning to all. Thank you, Julaila, for the nice introduction. And I must thank IUM for giving me the opportunity to present to you this morning. I think I would like it to make it very informal. So I don't see you, I don't see your response. So I hope along the session, if you have any question, you may unmute yourself, you can ask, or if you're too shy, you can just type into the chat. So I will try to address your questions, because as I said, I can't see you, so I don't know your expression. It's not like face to face I can see, or it's too boring that I should start, So yeah, just let me know what you think. All right. So this morning will be hopefully a very light session to give you some idea. Let me just share my screen first. Should be this one. No, not this. Sorry. This one. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. It's clear, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Thank you. Right. So I'm going to touch a bit on the as I know, most of you are the final year student. You already graduated, so now you are looking to go forward. So I will discuss a little bit of what are the options for you. Back in year 2000, I graduated in year 2000. I don't know if it's lucky or unlucky. That time, there's no post of audiology in government hospitals, KKM, no post. So my time is a difficult time because we got to find job, no official post. So we have to go to private and look for a job. So, and I consider myself fortunate because that time I got two offers. One offer is from GHKL, but because no post, they can only offer me a so-called a temporary post. It's not a permanent post, it's temporary. Then my another application is to that time Siemens Medical Instruments, and I'm also fortunate enough to to get an offer from Siemens Medical Instrument. And I think you know my choice already. I went for the second choice because that time Siemens promised there will be overseas trainings, 6 months. So that was the thing that attracted me. I graduated from UKM, so no overseas experience. So I joined Siemens Medical Instruments as a clinical audiologist to support Malaysia uh, Siemens customer, Siemens dealer. Okay, that was my experience. At that time, as I mentioned, there's no job. Then gradually, um, after a few years, the government hospital already have this audiologist post. Yeah, um, yeah, that was the year 20 years ago. Yeah, so let's move on. So where do you want to practice after graduation? I think this is the question that you might think of at the moment. Okay, so probably now you are fortunate. We already have posts at KKM, Kementerian Kesehatan. That means the government hospitals. So obviously, this is the number one choice for many, because uh, our university training is very much geared towards train students to work in clinical setting. That means in hospital setting. So you are very good at doing hearing assessment, you know, all sort of hearing tests for adult, for children. You are very good. So you're trained to be a clinical audiologist. So obviously, in terms of the job stability, government hospital post is also very good, very stable. But I can tell you nowadays, if you want to enter government post, KKM, also not easy because you need to go through interview. They don't simply take in anymore because the post is limited now. So they only choose the best. Yeah, so not easy. But that is the one of the best choice that you can think of if you want to work in the government hospitals, I might say. Beside government hospitals, you can also think of the private medical centers, which the job scope will be very similar, uh, mainly clinical work. In private medical center, usually the post will be attached to the ENT department, where the role of the audiologist is to support when ENT require PTA tests, and also some hospital in private already have newborn hearing screening program. The audiologist is to support the newborn hearing screening program. So not too bad. You can also consider, which is a good thing. Uh, we see more and more private hospitals start to engage uh, audiologists. Back in probably 20 years ago, that time, my time when I just graduated, no, in fact, no private hospital are hiring audiologists. 2 years later, um, after I graduated, 2 years later, my junior, they all start to apply to the private hospitals. But the time, they actually don't know who is audiologist. So they treat audiologists as like, you know, physiotherapy kind of, biotechnician kind of. The offer is very low, because I heard my junior complain at the time. Saint Darby Medical Center only offer 1,008. Also, these are the offer level. Yeah, but now it's very very good. I see a lot of major hospitals, even KPJ, Pantai, somewhere, all the hospital are offering post for audiologists. All right. So if you are not into clinical setting, who say you must be in clinical setting? Okay. Be open. We can do a lot of things. All right. Special education department is also another consideration. This one is also under the government. They do have posts in special education unit. You can consider. Uh, at the moment, not many. I think only, if I know of, only two audiologists working in special education. Yeah. Hopefully, they will get in more people when they have budget. Yeah, because there are a lot of hearing impaired students in special education setting. So audiologist is required. In fact, this education department also send their staff overseas to study audiology. Yeah, they train their own audiologists. All right, this is another direction you might want to think of if you would like to be teacher, in teaching field. Um, Next one will be the private hearing center and speech center. Yeah. So you can consider joining the at the moment a lot of private hearing care center uh, in in Malaysia already. So you can consider to join to get some private practice experience. Uh, yeah. I think I don't have to mention who are there in the market. You can Google search, can easily find. 20dB is one of the biggest network. We have 24 outlets now across Malaysia. So beside 20dB, we also the chain center like Hearing Partner also have quite a lot already. I think 17 center. So those are the center you can consider to join. Yeah. Um, But do be mindful if you are joining those providing the so-called online services or home services company, be mindful of that because many years back, I think your senior got joined those center. I think a lot of them regretted lah. They resigned from the center. I think you may have heard from your senior. Look for the center that you have an opportunity to apply your audiology knowledge, clinical knowledge. Yeah. Universities, like Zulaila, you can join the universities as a lecturer or as a researcher. So if you like to be in teaching line in university, in doing a lot of research, but it's not easy. I can tell you. You can ask all your lecturer. It's very tough. Got to do teaching. Got to do research. Got to do clinical work. Yeah. Another area that you might consider is manufacturer. We have few audiologists joining manufacturer in this region, like Signia. They have a factory in Singapore. They have the R&D department doing research and development. So they do offer post for audiologists, but it's not clinical. It's more into research. When they come out with say new technology, new product, yeah, you got to test it out, do clinical trial, yeah. That is Signia. At the moment, I know Signia in Singapore. Risau also have a factory in JB. A lot of you may not aware. Malaysia, we have a hearing aid factory, manufacturer factory, but I'm not sure they have R&D or not. You may try to approach them if you're interested. Okay, then the last thing is which I want to talk about today is be entrepreneur, start your own business. Okay, do your own private practice. It's also another option. Yeah. Of course, you might say I want to maybe get some experience first in hospitals or in some private center, which is good if you can get some experience. So definitely entrepreneur is one of the options. So which one you want to go for? Can give me some comment or not in the chat. Let me see, majority of you, which setting you prefer to go for? Are you able to type in the chat? I'm sure can, right? Yeah. Or you have not decided? You can just say not sure. Okay, government hospital, I see from No Iman. Good choice. And good luck to you if you can get into. Not easy now. Hospital setting, okay? Zakira, hospital setting can be in government or can be in private, right? Yeah. All right. Good. Hospital also, Kairuniza. Special education, good. We need more people in special education. Yeah. And I hope future we also have audiologist post in DOSH department, Department of Occupational Safety and Health. Yeah, at the moment we don't have post there. We hope they will take in audiologists in future to advise in terms of noise-induced hearing loss matter. All right. What else? Sorry. Industrial setting, good. Are you? Yeah, yeah. Mm. All right. Any more? No one choose entrepreneur. Okay, I can stop the topic today. Finish story. Nobody choose entrepreneur. All right. Thank you for your feedback. As I mentioned, if you can get into the government hospital, by all means, go ahead. It's a good setting for you to practice and stable. Or else, if you want to go into private medical center, also can. But be mindful, if you're in private medical center, probably you will be alone. You need to know how to set up the center, what equipment to buy, how to provide the services. Basically, you are also an entrepreneur, also related to today's topic. If you're in medical center, because a lot of medical center, the management do not understand who is audiologist, okay? And they also do not afford to take in like 2, 3 audiologists. So you probably will be the only one, especially if you are new, if the center is just about to start audiology clinic. Yeah, you will need to know how to set up for them. In a way, you are also an entrepreneur. You are also in a private practice. Yeah. Okay, I think this hospital setting is the most people choice. So I will move on to my next slide. Okay. This is a bit theory lah, so don't worry. You no exam. Just go through with you. Entrepreneurship is the creation of an innovative economic organization for the purpose of gain or growth under condition of risk and uncertainties. Okay, it's a person who organize and manage a business undertaking, assuming the risk for the profit return. Okay, so any person who start and operate a business is an entrepreneur. So why private practice? Okay, if everybody go to government hospitals or private hospitals, then we don't need, why do we need private practice? In fact, when I study audiology, when I was audiology student, final year student like you guys, we do not know that audiologists can be in private practice. Because at that time, there's no hearing aid center started by audiologists. No one know the ideas. All of us think after graduate, we audiologists is to work at the clinical setting hospitals. Yeah. So but somehow we started something in private. And why we started something in private is because hospital setting is kind of a lot of procedure and long appointment wait. Okay, yeah. If you want to go hospital, you cannot go and see audiologist directly. You probably have to go through the clinic, get a referral to the so-called ENT department, see ENT, then only can see audiologist. Okay, and then appointment can be 3 months or 6 months. It's not easy. Yeah. So private practice enable us to provide the services to the people for those who do not want to go to government setting, okay, who want immediate fast service, who do not mind to pay, so they can go to private practice. Yeah. So you agree with me, right? Not everybody like to go to government hospital. Yeah. So there is a value to have private practice because some people they want fast, they want efficient service. Yeah. So why going into private practice? If I ask you, probably you will say, okay, no choice or no post in government, no more post in government, no more post in private medical center. And I got to start my own. Okay, maybe this is one of the reason. But if you ask me, 20 years ago, 18 years ago, I started 2002. Why I enter into private practice is, I started with Siemens Medical Instrument. I traveled to whole Malaysia to support Siemens dealers, Siemens, because at that time, not many hearing aid center. Probably in Malaysia, only about 20 plus hearing aid center. Everybody takes Siemens product. Okay, Siemens is number one in Malaysia at the moment. There's no Resound in Malaysia, no Audiocon in Malaysia. Everybody's Siemens. Yeah, so I support them. So when I go through the Malaysia center, one thing that shocked me is the audiology knowledge and practice is so limited in the present at that time hearing center. You know what? A lot of center I went to, of course, no audiologists. So who are the people running the center? Mainly are maybe we call them hearing aid dispenser. They learn through the experience. Some are trained by the hearing aid manufacturer, how to program the hearing aid, how to do tests. Some are learned from the experience, which is normal because at that time, mana ada graduate, right? There's none. Yeah. So what happened is I see a lot of people like they do AC testing only, they don't do BC. So what happens if they prescribe and program a hearing aid without BC information? If sensory neural, never mind lah. But if people with mixed loss or conductive hearing loss, the gain might not be enough, right? The hearing aid prescribed may not be suitable. All right. I share with you one case. Normally, this dealer, if they got problem, they call me. That time I was with Siemens. I'm supposed to help them. So there's one case with one center in KL. They have a VVIP customer with hearing aid. But one hearing aid functioning okay, can hear, but the other hearing aid, the client complained couldn't hear. Although it's a very good hearing aid, couldn't hear. So they asked me to come and help. So I go and test. 1 year is just like mild moderate loss with hearing aid. Can get benefit. The other year is like severe with another BTE hearing aid, but couldn't hear much. So what happened is I will do the hearing test with masking. So I can, what do you guess? After masking, the other year is actually a dead ear. It's not severe because without masking, there's crossover, right? So it's actually a dead ear. It could not help already. So of course you put on whatever, how expensive hearing aid, also no use. So these are the things happening in Malaysia. That means the people do not have access to a professional, hearing center. That's part the idea of why not we start a center with professional, with audiologists, then give people a choice. If you want a professional, a good audiology service, you can come to, our professional store. Yeah, that's how 18 years ago we started the center. Yeah? And another phenomenon that time is hearing aid center at that time only one shop. So mostly in KL. So that some outstation people, they need to travel to KL. People from Ipoh, people from Seremban, people from even Johor, they need to travel to KL to buy hearing aid. Even people from Sabah and Sarawak. I'm now in Sarawak, Kuching. They also travel to KL to buy hearing aid because no center in those places. Yeah. So that became our idea also. When we started the first center, we said we want to branch out because we want to make these services available to the local people so they don't have to travel. And we bring the services to them. Yeah. And of course, our idea is also to promote awareness of hearing loss, awareness of who is audiologist, awareness of using hearing aid. That's our philosophy. That's why we do a lot of hearing screening during early days. All right, that was my story. So to you, why private practice? First thing I listed here is probably financial return. You are taking high risk to start your own business, but the reward can be high also. All right. If you go into the government setting, yes, the job stability is there, but in terms of financial reward, it's limited because government follow the scale. There is a ceiling. After you hit the ceiling, you cannot go already. I don't know how much is the ceiling now. Probably 5,000-6,000 or 7,000-8,000. Yeah, you will start there. You can't go much higher. All right. So risk and reward. But But don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you that going into private practice you can immediately get a good financial return. I can tell you based on my experience, the first 5 years we don't see any return. We don't see any financial return. So I think the first 2 years are very critical, are very important. A lot of businesses cannot sustain for 2 years. For those who can sustain the first 2 years, normally you are okay. But for us, our experience, the first 5 years, we don't see much return. Yeah. So only after 5 years, then we see, yeah, the so-called the center is we after 5 years we already have few center already. I think five to seven center is more stabilized. Then we start to see the return coming in because we already achieved the so-called economies of scale. You understand economies of scale? When you only have one center, it's not easy because, for example, in KL, you want to advertise one advertisement in Star newspaper, for example. One advertisement costs you 5,000 one time. Yeah, but if I have 5 outlets, we also come up with one advertisement and share by the 5 outlets. So each outlet only come up share 1,000. So the cost is lower. Yeah, that we call economy of scale. So the cost is lower, meaning we have the high probability of getting more profit. Yeah, another point very important is autonomy of audiologists. Any speech therapists here? No, all audiology. Well, you have 30 over audiologists, your batch. Or some are third year.
It's actually third year and fourth year.
Okay, right. Okay, so I'll focus on audiologists. Autonomy of audiology, what do I mean by that? Okay, the situation now probably better, but early of the years, I'll say 15, 20 years ago, it's very sad, even audiologists work in the government hospitals, most of them are work under ENT. So a lot of them complain, some ENT are nice, then you're okay. But those days, some very old ENT are not that nice. They only treat audiologists as technician, PTA technician. That means they will ask audiologists to do PTA. Some will tell audiologists, you only do the test. After you do the test, patient come back to me. I will consult them on hearing loss and whether they need hearing aid or not. Not you. You don't consult the patient. Some will say that. Yeah. But nowadays, I think getting much better because the younger ENT, they are more aware of who is audiologist. Yeah. So can work together. Okay. So autonomy of audiologists means in private practice, we are staying alone. We don't have to listen to ENT. Okay. And our bread and butter, our focus in private practice is not only hearing assessment, but provide hearing solution. That means the hearing aid. We dispense fit hearing aid and patient pay us for the hearing aid. So that makes the audiologist more independent. Yeah. Whereas in some hospital setting, you still need to listen to the ENT. So there is lack of the autonomy. So to me is hearing aid dispensing and fitting give autonomy to audiologists. Yeah, this is something you want to think about because unless you are also doing the hearing aid, then ENT probably cannot touch you because they are not into hearing aid. But if you are doing just hearing assessment, and some of you I know you may be doing vertigo tests. Those are the things we can't have autonomy. After you've done the test, can you provide solution? No, right? You still need to go back to ENT. So it becomes like we are just doing tests only, like technician. Yeah. So hearing aid is the area that give autonomy to audiologists. Yeah. Nobody can question us on this part. Yeah. The second reason, and of course, the third reason will be the personal choice and freedom. Some people, like I know one or two audiologists, they have their own practice. So they don't have to come to work 9 to 5, follow the schedule. Whenever got appointment, patient appointment, they will go to the center to treat a customer. It's like more flexible time. It's a personal choice. Some people like to be that way, not tied to any institution, be it government or private. So yeah, these are the things for you to think about. Yeah. Okay, next. Any questions so far? Let me see in the chat box. Any question? Or other speech? All right. It's the same thing. The concept is the same for audio and speech. Speech lucky bagus. Nobody can question you if you're in private practice. Yeah. In fact, the demand for speech therapists is very high in the market, I would say, especially in the private practice. Yeah. Oh, if you have any question, you can type inside the text box. If not, I will just go on. All right. So, right, where am I? Business plan. So if you are into the private practice, even though you are in the private medical center, as I mentioned just now, you wanted to start a new center, new unit. Usually we talk about business plan, but today I'm not going into details. I will only mention to you what are the elements, what are the common elements in the business plan. If you really need to do the business plan, you can always Google and search sample how to do it. So these are the basic concept. What do we want to do? What market do we want to penetrate? Yeah. Financial analysis. So I'm not going into details, but just give you an idea. Usually you need to prepare a business plan, especially you want to source for funding. People may ask you for a business plan. Yeah, I won't go into detail. Okay, funding of course is important. Some of you may think of mana ada duit to start private practice. And for information, it's not cheap now to start a audiology center, hearing center. Speech center may be cheaper, but audiology center is not cheap. I think in terms of just getting a shop doing renovation, you need 100,000 already, probably up to 100,000 plus the equipment. You buy the audiometer, basic equipment. Let's say basic audiometer, team, or marketing fund, some store inventory. I would say probably you need to stand by 150 to 200,000 if you want to start on your own. Yeah. So funding, of course, if you are from rich family, no issue lah. Family can support you. Okay. Or if you have rich friends, also no issue lah. You can borrow lah. Others, of course, other source is getting a loan from bank, which is possible, and the interest rate nowadays is very low. Yeah, or you can get some angel investor. Or nowadays very popular is P2P crowdfunding. Go online, register with those platform. They can help you to find investor. Yeah, just tell them you need to raise 200,000, but you need to pay back with some interest to the platform. Yeah. So these are the source if you wanted to do. Or another way is to get SME loan. Especially Bumiputra is very easy to get loan. Yeah, that's the advantage. All right. Business registration, I also touch a little bit for those who are ready to go into private practice in future. Those who are not keen into this, also you can at least understand what will be the process. Yeah. So of course you need to register a company. It can be a sole proprietorship, partnership, or private limited company. Normally, I would recommend go for private limited company because sole proprietorship or partnership, you are liable to your business loss. If you owe money, people can ask you to sell your house to pay back. But Central Bahar is different. Whatever loss is within the company only, it will not touch your own personal property, personal asset. Yeah, normally I will recommend the Central Baham. And then you need to be mindful of statutory requirement. Yeah, EPF, SOSO, if even this GDP MD is under the KKM, Kementerian Kesehatan, is good GDP MD, good distribution practices for medical device. You need to get that standard if you want to supply hearing aid to government. Yeah. So these are the requirement. These are legal requirement. You need to bear in mind. Of course, if you say I just want to dispense hearing aid to retail walk-in customer, you may not need to have that. Yeah, I won't go into details. As I said, I only give you an overview picture. If you really wanted to do it, only you can research for more detail. All right, financial plan is very important. You need to work, calculate properly. Uh, uh, you know, so these are how to utilize your fund. I can tell you based on my experience for 20 years, there are a lot of companies, not a lot, there are few companies actually closing down their business. It's not because they don't have revenue, they don't have sales. The sales is okay, it's good. Just that the company did not manage the cash flow properly. One company, those that I know is whenever sales comes in, uh, the owner will just take the money, take it like his own money and spend it. I never calculate you need to pay back the supplier and so on. So at the end, there's no money to pay supplier. Of course, supplier will stop the supply. Then the center do not have the hearing aid to dispense to sell. So you will have to close down. Okay. Another example is one company not few years ago. I think it expanded too fast. I think within 2 to 3 years, expanded more than 10 outlets. Yeah. So this is also a lesson to learn now. You have to calculate the cash flow. If expanded too fast, then the company start in, because majority of the business actually is to supply the hearing aid to government hospitals. Then the government payment is lambat, late. Then the companies also start in the cash flow problem. So have to close down a lot of center. So financial plan is very important. Yeah. Yeah. I won't go into detail again. This is just a concept for you first. Yeah. And other important factor is the business name, logo, and trademark. Yeah. You need to have a, a decent business name, and I will advise trademark. Okay, trademark. Uh, if you if you have intention to do it, those there are a lot of company I can share with you. Not say a lot. Some company, when they started their center, hearing center, they don't really use their name. They will use like Siemens Hearing, use Siemens logo, because they thought, yeah, if I use my name, like whatever name, people don't know who am I, nobody will come. But I use Siemens, wow, Siemens is a good brand. All people will be attracted to come, have more confidence to buy from my shop. Yeah. It's true, this is very short term, but in long term, those center using Siemens will have problem. Okay, what problem? Now no more Siemens. Now it's Signia. How are you able to attract customer? That's one thing. The second thing is you put out Siemens, then a lot of center are selling Siemens hearing aid. So you don't have advantage. Customer can compare prices at a different center. Yeah, you will not have advantage. So if you use your own name, and if the customer aware of your brand and loyal to your brand, then you can make sure your business is more sustainable. Yeah. A location also very important. These are these are the internal management items. I won't go into details. All right. Maybe I touch a little bit on if in private practice, it's very important. You need to know how to do marketing, and you need to apply some business strategy. This one may be not only in private center. If you are working in the private hospital, even if you are working in government hospital, this is also important to consider. Yeah. Yeah. When talk about marketing, there are four elements which are important to know. By the way, do you learn marketing in your course, 4 years course? No, no marketing. Okay, so I touch a bit. So of course, product is very important. You must choose the right product for your targeted groups, targeted customer, and set the right pricing is very important. Too expensive, no people can afford. Too cheap, people thought your product is not good. Place, how do you, where do you set up your business, your channel, and promotion? How do you market the your services and your product? In terms of promotion, I won't go into detail. I only highlight branding is very important. A customer must like your brand, correct or not? Today you buy thing also, right? You buy what do you, how to say you if you buy what do you normally buy? Handphone. Do you go for brand? You go for a good brand, right? Good. What are the good brand for you? Apple, iPhone, Huawei. A good brand, Those brand you never heard of, you probably don't want to buy, you don't know good or not, So branding is very important. You buy clothes also, you people tends to likely to pay a little bit more for a better brand, a brand that you know, you have confidence of. Okay, yeah. So brand building is very important, and nowadays digital marketing, social media marketing is very important. I won't go into detail, but these are the things when you're in private, you must learn uh, how to manage this. Yeah. Okay. Let me just share one or two business strategy with you, hopefully get you some idea. So important strategy for you to think of when you start a business is who is your target customer and what is your positioning statement. Today is not like 20 years ago. 20 years ago when we just started, I would say demand is more than supply. What do I mean? That means out there, a lot of people with hearing impairment, they are looking for hearing aid. They want hearing aid, but not many hearing aid center. So it's easier to do, right? When you put out one, say, advertisement, and we have a good hearing aid for you, people will come. But today, if you put out advertisement, nobody will call you one. Okay, because scenario is different already. Today it's like supply. I won't say supply is more than demand. I would say supply is getting more, but demand is still not there, not good enough. It's not that there's no hearing impaired people. According to WHO, our population should have about 10%. But the issue now is in Malaysia, a lot of people with hearing impairment, they deny it. They are in denial, okay? Or they do not know what to do, okay? Even though they know they have hearing aid, hearing loss, they do not know what to do, all right? Some, they may have heard about hearing aid, but they do not want hearing aid, so ugly, they don't want it. So that's why it's our role as audiologists to create more awareness. Yeah, let more people are aware of, nothing to shine off, it will improve your life quality. So back to what I said, those days are low hanging fruit, That means, you want to pluck the fruit from a tree. If the fruit is at the lower level, easily, you can just pluck it and eat. But now no more low hanging fruit. Those easy fruit already gone. You want to tap into customer, you need to use a ladder, go higher. Okay, need to put in more effort. So that's why it's very important. You need to identify who is your target customer. Who do you want to target, and how do you position yourself? All right. So we talk about STP, segmentation, targeting, and positioning. It's very important. I'll give you an example. This is one of the way we segment customer is based on income level. Yeah, it can be income level, it can be other method. Like for example, our government also use like B40. bottom income level. Family income maybe up to 4,000 below. M40 is like middle income. And then the top 20, those who earn more than 10,000 a month, family earning. Yeah. So you can also use the same segmentation. So you decide, once you identify these three segments, you want to start a business, who do you want to target? Do you want to target B40, M20, or M40 or top 20? You need to decide. I think obviously you do not want to target B40 in private practice. Normally B40 they go to government hospital because they may not be they cannot afford to pay, so they prefer go to government hospital to get subsidy. So if your business is targeting B40, you are fighting with government hospital. So not easy. Yeah. So you will find it very hard to convince customer why they need to come to you, buy from you, not government hospital. I would say it's not easy. Yeah. So probably you want to tag, let's say, T20 lah, top 20 might be good lah. Those people got money lah. So we should target them. Easy to do business. But are you able to target them? Those top 20, they are very selective. They, these people, uh, if they want to buy, they look at they may have to, how to say, look at your outlet, your display. Is it nice? Is it high class? So if you want to target top 20, it's not, cannot. You've got to spend more money in your renovation, in your decoration, in your professionalism, in your system. Yeah. So the cost is higher, and you whether you are able to convince them or not is another story. So also not easy. So M40, you say, left M40, then I target M40. But I can tell you, most of the private center outside, everybody target M40. So it's very competitive. Competition is there. So how? So you got to think about this. Different people may have different way. Some you got to analyze your ability. Which one you want to target. Yeah. This is only one example. Of course, you can segment customer into different way. Like they are the business owner, they are lecturer, you can target different group of people. Yeah. This is just an example. I think I skipped that. This is for 20 dB, how we target and position ourselves. I skipped that because not much time already. I need to go faster. I think I just share one strategy with you. This one maybe I touch a little bit. I think it's important because even you are in the private hospital, in government hospital, this is also very important. So I call it sustainable competitive advantages. Yeah. So whatever you do, make sure you have the unique selling point. Why people come to your business, your center? You need to make yourself very unique. Yeah. For example, my product is the cheapest. It's one of the unique selling point. Or my services are the best in town. Also your unique selling point. So I give you a few samples here. Which one is sustainable? Over the years, there are centers doing buy one, free one promotion. You know who? BP, BP Hearing, 50% discount. Hearing partner and Best Hearing like to do that. Free hearing aid trial. 20 dB doing that. So which one is more sustainable? ISO 9001 certification, nationwide support. You can type into your chat. Which one is more sustainable? Which one is not sustainable? Get some response, see any response or not. Do you understand what is sustainable or not? That means the advantage. For example, buy one, free one. It's an advantage. People will come immediately to buy from you. Cheap, buy one, free one, But is it sustainable? To me, it's not sustainable. or 50% discount is not sustainable. Because why? Imagine you start your service in this location. Opposite you, there's another hearing aid center. If opposite center offering 50% for the hearing aid, so what will you do? Customer say, oh, opposite offer 50%. What will you do? I match lah. I also offer you 50%. You know, so it's not sustainable. You know, can easily be counter attack. Yeah, so we don't use that strategy. Don't use that strategy. Yeah, thank you. Somebody mentioned. Yeah, so that's why I share with you what 20 dB we normally focus on those advantages are sustainable. For example, we say we have highest number of experienced audiologists. Sustainable or not? Yeah, you may say other center can also employ audiologists, ma? Can. We welcome them to employ audiologists. Yeah, but it's not easy because they got to pay higher cost. You know, a lot of centers don't want audiologists because it's cheaper to hire non-audiologists. Yeah. And to them is normally audiologists do not know how to do sales. Dispenser is more daring to do sales. Yeah, a lot of centers think like that. So our advantage is we have the highest number of audiologists. Yeah. So until now, not many centers can compete us in that sense. We have 40 over audiologists in 20 dB. I think the rest, none of the center has more than 10. So it's far behind. Yeah. Now, the one thing we do is the ISO 9001. This is also our sustainable advantage. We already have ISO for more than 5 years. Until now, no competitor is copying. It's not easy to do ISO. Yeah. So these are examples. But if you do discount, I can tell you tomorrow your competitor will follow. So no advantage for you. Yeah. So these are the things for you to think about. All right, I need to skip this because of time factor, the SWOT analysis, right? This one I only touch a bit. When you started your business, it's important your customer are loyal to you. You are able to retain your customer, which is very important. So be nice to your customer. This risk assessment, yeah, from time to time, you need to do risk assessment. This one, I think, also applicable for those in clinical setting. You need to see what are the risks, how to improve it, what action need to be taken. Okay. And business growth, you may need more capital, you may need to learn. For myself, when I started, don't ever think that I know how to run business. No. Okay. I never thought of running into business. When I was in university, my target is to go to hospital setting, clinical audiologist. I never thought of enter into business. As I mentioned just now, because I see so many in the market, the quality is so poor, that drive me to start a professional center. Yeah. But honestly, I do not know how to run a center initially until I get myself an MBA, Master in Business Administration. So along the way, I learned how to manage. Of course, we did a lot of mistakes, but lucky in the early days, we are still afford to make some small mistakes. Right. Finally, the exit strategy. Once you have the business, you might think of let's say I want to retire early. What should I do? Do I have an opportunity to exit the business? Yeah, you can do that. You can get investor, private equity fund, or you may even sell your business, right, for a good value. Okay, and I can tell you, if you have a private practice, you are actually building out the business value. The longer you are in the market, if your business is already 5 years or 10 years, with substantial customer database, a lot of people would like to buy from you. I can tell you, you can demand higher price, $500,000. If you want to take my business, give me $500,000. Okay, so today, if any of you from rich family, you want to buy 20 dB, welcome, talk to me, I'll sell to you. Cheap. All right. So the points that I have shared with you are taken from these two books. One is Audiology Business and Practice Management. If you're into private practice, do read the book. All right. The other one is the entrepreneurship. All right. And last, I show you some images mainly for 20 dB to show you when you start your own, it's important to build your brand. Yeah. So these are the brand image of 20 dB. Yeah, it's our center. So we always highlight we have experienced audiologists, nationwide outlet, ISO, award-winning. We have 20 days take-home trial. All right, thank you very much. You can contact me if you have any question. If you're too shy, there's my phone number and email address. And for those who are interested to join 20TB, we have very limited posts at the moment, but you can try to write into the email below. Yeah. So that our HR will take note whenever we have post opening, our HR may contact you. Any question you can ask, unmute yourself, or you can type inside the chat box. Let's see. Okay, I hope my short presentation give you some idea where are you heading, and also some points for you to consider if you are into the private practice. May not be immediate, maybe 2 years down the road or 3 years down the road. Yeah, so those are the things you might want to take note. I believe in Malaysia, there are still room for private practice, especially, I must say, in secondary town, yeah, because nowadays majority of the shop are in the big cities, KL, PJ kind of big city. Like the smaller town, there's not many shop, yeah. So there are still opportunity, yeah. Or you in private practice may not be just a private hearing center. Just as someone mentioned, you are interested in industrial screening. IU, is it? You might also think of to start we call it audiometric test center. That means the unit is specialized in doing industrial hearing screening. All the factory must send you the workers to do hearing assessment. Or you can be involved in teaching the course to the so-called OHD, occupational health doctor, how to run a hearing assessment. Or you can involve in giving talk to the factories workers. It's compulsory, every factories, they need to educate their workers. So they need to invite speakers to talk about how to take care, what is noise, how to protect yourself from noise-induced hearing loss. So these are also opportunity. Right now, I don't see a lot of people are involved. So if you're interested, you can start something like that. But for audiometric test center, probably you need to partner with OHD. It will be better because it's required to have OHD, yeah, in an audiometric test center. So these are the area that you might want to look into also. Don't everybody go to government hospital, touch good post. Yeah. And think of the some smaller town, as I mentioned, especially in Sabah, Sarawak, town like Sandakan, Tawau. If you're from Sabah, you are in hot demand because we don't have enough audiologists from there, and there's no center there. Yeah, smaller town, yeah, you can think of to start the services there. Not necessarily go to the big city to compete. It's not easy. Yeah. Some if I'm from Johor, like places like Kuala, what else? Smaller town. As far as I know, no hearing center. So these are the opportunity. Okay, any question? OHD refer to occupational health doctor. occupational health doctor. Yeah. Unfortunately, um, who are the OHD? OHD can be a normal doctor, a GP. Okay, just a normal doctor. They go and attend the course on occupational health, and then they pass the exam. They can register themselves as OHD. And sadly, DOSH, Department of Occupational Safety, actually endorsed OHD um, in terms of industrial hearing screening. That means only OHD can, how to say, can sign, can approve. Yeah, but they did not put in audiologists. To me, it's a mistake. They should consider audiologists. Audiologist is the one who know how to do hearing assessment and diagnose, not OHD. I can tell you a lot of OHD, they don't know how to do hearing assessment. They learn, but it's very short course. They still need to ask audiologists how to do this and how to read this audiogram. But they are the one who can sign the report. Yeah. So which is to me it's not right lah. They should include audiologists. Yeah.
Any more questions, guys? You know, it's quite difficult to get someone from the industry to come here and answer your questions. But Mr. Mok, can I ask you questions?
Sure.
I was wondering about the business partnership in 20dB.
Mm-hmm.
How does it how does it being implied?
Okay. Our partnership in 20dB is early days when we just started. I'm aware that it's not easy to get audiologists because that time not many audiologists. Yeah, and a lot of audiologists like to join hospital lah. Some like to go overseas lah. Um, you know, so and some may work for 1-2 years and then they may say, I start my own. Then we cannot grow. We cannot grow to be a present 24 outlets chain. You know, and our resources are limited. We cannot compete with those big guys, overseas company. Like for example, Hearing Partner is owned by Orticon. They have a lot of money. Yeah, that's why we offer initial first few audiologists some partnership share. You join in you join in. You can we give you or sell you some share a very low price then you can be a partner. Yeah. So those are for the initial batch but subsequently when we have more audiologists joining us then it becomes difficult because we cannot offer everybody share. And then those pioneer batch, they also not agree because when we order other people share, their share will get diluted. So now we are thinking of another way of moving forward. In near future, we might tell audiologists like you guys, wait, you want to start a center, right? But you don't have capital, you don't have experience. No worry, come talk to us. We will do it such a like 80-20, 70-30 kind of arrangement. That means we will come up with capital. Yeah. Majority of capital, maybe you come out with a little bit, then you own 20% or 30%. We set out a central bahar. Yeah. And you will be the person, you run the show. We will support you in terms of capital and experience, store, business support, marketing support. This sort of concept might be in future if you're interested. Yeah. But for me is at the present situation, try to get job. No need to be too choosy because experience is very important. Doesn't matter in government hospital, or private center. Get some experience as much as possible. Yeah, yeah. It's not easy nowadays. As I mentioned, government post is also very limited now. Okay. Let me see some question here. What do you think about starting a business by opening a center in small town first? Because it is rarely there. Do you think it bring benefit or not? Yes, agree. Because less competition. You are the first one. You will have first move advantage. Yeah, people always remember the first center in the town. Yeah, you have the advantage. But based on my experience, I would prefer you don't go into too small. I mean, the population size, kalau boleh, possible at least 200,000, 150 to 200,000 in that town. Or if you go to too small, the population less than 100,000, it will be very difficult because not enough customer to support you, because you got to pay rental, you got to pay yourself. If you employ another assistant, you got to pay salary. So you need to have the business volume to sustain. Yeah. So go for town that with population 150 to 200 at least. And then you also need to study certain town, like for example, Ipoh. A lot of old people. Those town is very good. But some town like a new town, mostly young people may not be suitable. So you got to analyze your town. Now, certain town like, example, Kemaman, maybe there is opportunity for industrial screening. Yeah. Okay. So you have identified. Okay. Next question. If I'm asked during my job interview, what are the things I'm able to do to help in sales and marketing? What should I say other than the thing you mentioned just now? Digital marketing. Okay. Yeah. Very good question. Yeah, I think you guys are very familiar with social media. To you, like Facebook, WhatsApp. I can tell you, I've one staff who sells thing through WeChat. Every month he can sell about 2,000. I also don't know how she does it. Huh? So people are very good. So these are the things, if you have that skill during interview, you should say, I I'm willing to contribute to the company in terms of social media marketing, share the awareness of hearing loss, hearing aid through the social media. The company will be very happy because I can tell you out there a lot in the market, the existing company, a lot of them do not know how to do digital marketing. If you have that skill, it will be an advantage. Yep. So you are going for interview, yeah? Okay. Depending on what interview setting, if you are going for clinical setting, probably they will ask you a lot of clinical questions. You must be good at clinical question. Um, if you are going for private company, normally they see. I give you some hints. When you go for especially private company, you must be able to give people a pleasant, at least a smile during the interview, because it's very important. A company will see this person. If I employ you, whether my customer will like you or not. If your face is like muram saja, it's difficult. You got to put out a smiley face so that the company have confidence. The customer will like you. And then your presentation skill, you must be able to present yourself, to talk. What are you good at? Like digital marketing, you can say, and then what you can contribute to the company. Do not ask too much. What company can give me? Of course, you can ask, but not too much on that. Rather, let company have the impression that you can contribute a lot to the company. Yeah. These are the hint for you. Any more question? All right. How do you measure the success of audiologists in your center? We have KPI. If you want easy life, don't come to 30dB. KPI is what? Key Performance Index. That means we have every year we do assessment on our audiologists. Their point system. Yeah. For example, um, um, there is one part customer feedback, because we ask customer to fill in feedback. So let's say you get customer feedback 100 points, you get 80 points, you get full marks. So if you only get 50 points, then you will get less marks. So yeah, so we have a rating. That's one part. We also measure revenue that you can bring into company, whether you can achieve the revenue target or not. If you achieve, you get good marks. If you only achieve less than target, you still get marks, but lesser marks. Also measure like whether you can comply to our ISO requirement. Like for example, our ISO requirement is you do hearing assessment before you prescribe hearing aid. You must do pre-fitting counseling at the work. You must do verification, validation. You do or not? If you comply all, you get full marks. So we have a point system. It's very objective. Monthly quiz for the audiologists. Yeah. Yeah. I would say we are still very focused on training. So so we want to have at least a discussion or training on monthly basis to our audiologists. Yeah. When we just started, we are very consistent. Every month we have discussion meeting among our audiologists with a group. But for past few years, we are a bit laid back already. But I think we should we will still continue the so-called monthly discussion. The good thing is about we have so many audiologists. We have a group. If you have any question, you post inside the group. Definitely got people can answer you because some are good at tinnitus, some are good at industrial screening, some are good at four-nut hearing aid, some are good at unitron hearing aid. Any question, sure got people can answer you. That means you will get the support. Compared to if you only join a new company or one private hospital, you are the only audiologist, then might be tough for you. There's no support. Right? Very quiet group. I will, if no further question, I would like to wish you all the best. Congratulations for completing your study, and all the best for your job hunting.
Okay, I think that's all. Conclude our session for this morning. Thank you very much, Mr. Mok, for spending your valuable time with us. And thank you as well to those who are attending today's or this morning's. Actually, we do have speech students here. My mistake just now. So at least they will have a little bit of idea on what we provide in the industry. And how we conduct our business in industry, or maybe there's a potential of you joining together, making some sort of like center, whatever it is. Okay, audiology and speech together alongside. And any last question? Any final say? Mr. Mok, do you have any final say to them?
Yeah, still the same. Wish you all the best, and whatever you do, remember always join force to promote awareness of hearing loss, awareness of audiologists, and awareness of hearing aid. Because we want the industry to be healthy and bigger for the good of our future.
Okay.
Right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Mok. Glad to have you here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Okay, Assalamualaikum. Bye.